how's it going, folks? Yesterday, I received a phone call, which a job that I've taken on with a friend's house, probably like beginning beginning stage of coronavirus. And yesterday, he contacted me, and I was a bit shivering because I was thinking of he must be complaining about building his shop under his house. And turns out the end of the phone call was regarding to spirits in the household. Now, I did touch or remove from that same particular location of the area which I was working in that area. So if I record, what I did was I was building two bathrooms, and in that period we did have to, because it was basement, so it was a massive basement under the house, and I had to remove some of the stuff because it's blocking my way, my work. And some of the stuff will be thrown to the bin. That probably wasn't me. Probably I've thrown in the bin. It's been a while back in the area. That's ready for going to the tip bin or whatsoever. And yeah, that's about it when I can say about that. But when I look back at it, I cannot record X, Y, and Z. And if I had to record, I'd probably take one of the long stainless steel ruler, like the school one. And yeah, now he's been telling me his wife is having seeing spirits of this elderly man. And before they purchased the house, it was an elderly couple, old couple, um, who entered aged care and needed to sell the property. Then the workshop in the basement has left all his belongings there. Nothing's been removed. I explained to my mate, I'm like, why didn't you have all this removed by, before the settlement date or whatsoever, all right? Or why do we, obviously I was working, but why didn't you remove all that before moving in? So now his wife is experiencing all these spirits, and it's not a bad one. And this made me look back in the whole thing. Like, it's many. I always often laughed at a lot of Melburnians, especially newly arrived migrants who tend to purchase houses in up in Wallen or Donnybrook or um, further away suburbs, like new established suburbs, and building land and house package as well. And many of them will say, well, I don't like the smell for old house, or the old house is X, Y, and Z. Maybe because that's not the Australian dream, buying the house or whatsoever. And me looking back at it, I remember my aunt when she bought her house in Preston, and there was voodoo dolls hidden inside the walls or X, Y, and Z. And depending on how much of you guys will believe it, and some people will see the spirit or not. But when I was studying in aged care, they do mention about ghosts and spirits, especially that you get to see them in whatsoever. Like for example, in the hospital settings, there's a lot of people passed away in aged care settings as well. Now, I cannot confirm of my mate's house when he purchased, did someone passed away, right? I cannot recall that. Maybe there is. So maybe that ghost is, or spirit is lingering around. And for me to even think about it, just to have the spirits, and it just made a bit more clear for me, and knowing that people who bought like a whoop whoop land and house package, brand new house further away, who doesn't have that history of people passing away or X, Y, and Z. I guess certain cultures view it differently, and with full respect to that. And I'm just scrolling on through this, and there's a lot of talks about this as well. Now, some people may see the spirit, some people may not, and also not only just that, but also like what was the other word? it's depending on the individual who can see it. All right. And for me to look at the whole thing, I just felt like, this made it more clear for those who wanted to buy a brand new house instead of an old house, because old house, God knows how many years. And if be realistically speaking, people who passed away in the house is pretty highly likely can be passed away during your bedtime or whatsoever. What is the chances, or what do you hear, like people dying walking down the street or public or going to the supermarket? So that being said, if a house has a history X, Y, and Z, that's a strong indication. And now I finally learn about it, and which is great. So yeah, that's about it.